All right, welcome to this lesson. I think this is your fourth lesson, if I'm correct, right? Today we are going to be looking at Zapier. Right, we are going to be looking at what it is, the solutions, and of course, we'll go into the practical to see how Zapier helps with automations. All right. Now, the first thing you want to go is, of course, go to zapier.com. So go to zapier.com and, of course, create your account. Right. So once you create your account, you'll be able to start automating, of course. But before then, I will love to show you some of those, IoT, Internet of Things, of different applications that you can automate this with, right? And of course, applications that communicate with one another. So let's go to Explore Apps. Now, so this is where you see all different applications and software that can be automated using Zapier. You understand? Of course, you see webhooks. This is their app, right? You see Google Sheets. Of course, this is from Google. You see HubSpot. This is from HubSpot. You see Gmail. This is from Google. Facebook Leads app. This is from Facebook. ChatGPT, of course, is from OpenAI. You see Slack. Slack is from Salesforce, if I'm correct. You see Salesforce themselves. Then you see Shopify. You see School, right? And of course, there are a lot of different marketing and other administrative tools you will see here on Zapier that you can integrate. You understand? And when you go to this side, you see different app categories. So, for example, app families, right? Different app families, AI, you see all the AI tools, business intelligence, you see all the business intelligence tools, commerce, right? Communication tools, so you see all the communication tools here, content, human resource, IoT, IT operations. So IoT, when I say IoT, I mean Internet of Things, right? Then you see lifestyle and entertainment, marketing, productivity, Salesforce, support, and so on. So these are the different categories available. Zapier. All right, so let's go to pricing so that you can see what it's going to cost your client. So look at the pricing. So look at the pricing. So here we'll see all the different pricings available. Of course, see the free version is free forever, although there are limited access, of course, as expected. Then we have the professional, which is best for individuals. It has more access than free. Then we have the one for teams, best for teams at $69 per month. And of course, we have the enterprise, which your company will have to contact them. I understand how all of these things works, right? So that's the pricing for Zapier. All right. So what you get with all paid plans, these are the things you are going to get when you are using their paid plans, right? And of course, you can come here for resources, courses, webinars, their community, their help center, their Zapier basics, what you can automate, and so on. So under resources, you see more lessons that you can go through, and they have guides, blog sessions, and so on. Now, of course, solutions. These are different apps, use cases, and then, of course, the different team categories that we use Zapier for automations. All right, and of course, these are the different products they have and their capabilities. Now, let's go into it. So I'm going to log in with Google account, right? Of course, you can. And log in with you can log in with Google account as well, right? That's the same thing I'm doing. So let me log in with this. All right, so it's loading. It's loading. So make sure you trust Zapier and of course understand the Gmail account you are using before you continue. So for me, I'll just click on continue. Okay, so it's loading. So it should go. Now, there are different things you're going to be seeing here based on the solutions I showed you before. If you remember, right? And of course, the tools and what you want to do. For example, you want to automate Gmail, your Gmail with your Google Sheets. You must know what you want to integrate, what you want to automate, you understand, so that you know what you want to integrate. For example, I want to automate how I get emails from customers on my website or how I arrange my newsletter subscribers. Or let's say, for example, the test I made here where I was doing automation of Google, my Google Mail, Gmail with my Google Drive, right? And I tested this. Now, this is just based on what we want to achieve. We want all new emails that have attachments. We want the attachment coming with all new emails to be saved on a folder inside our Google Drive. You understand? So this is actually a typical example of a Zap, and we're able to achieve this using Zapier. All right, so let's go back and try another example. Right now, when you are doing integration of one or more tools, trying to streamline or what we call automate your processes, we call that a Zap. You understand? So a Zap is that connection between a tool, one tool and the other. You understand? We say that is a Zap. You understand? That is a Zap. Now, a Zap could be made up of one connection or more than one connection. For example, in this particular test, we had Gmail communicating with Google Drive alone. That is also a Zap. It's not until you have 3, 4, 5 journeys before you have a Zap. right? Now, we're going to go to create. We're going to create Zaps. Right. Now, inside Zapier, there's the AI that will help you understand what you are trying to do. Just explain what you are trying to do. It's going to suggest the tools you you should integrate, you should zap, you should connect, you understand, just by typing it here. Right. Now, for example, let's integrate our Gmail. Let's use a trigger. We'll know what to use this for. So from here, let's communicate with from our Google Calendar to our okay. Let's use our Google Calendar and our Google Sheets. Of course, can communicate with any tool here. I'm just trying to see what we can, what we are trying to do. You understand? Because we are going to test Zap, whatever Zap we build, we are going to test it. Are you following? So let's say, for example, okay, let's use the test we did before. Let's communicate between our Gmail, right? So we're going to communicate between our Gmail. Now, this is the Google account, right? And of course, that is the first app in this particular Zap. For every Zap you have, there will always be a trigger. A trigger is what starts the automation. You understand? Something has to initiate the automation before it can process, before it can begin to work. You understand? Now, trigger event. Trigger event tells about what is that action in your type of trigger that you're looking forward to. In the last test I showed you, it was new attachments. That is, whenever a mail enter, any email that has attachments, that is the trigger. You understand? For example, if you say new email. So whenever there's a new email, you say trigger this particular Zap. Then of course you're going to choose the email. This is the email address with this account, as you can see here. So we already connected this to this Zapier account. And of course, if you want to change that, you can always change it here. You understand? You can always change it here. Now, once we are done with your connection, you come here and click on continue. Right. Now, because your Gmail has different label. Now, I'm going to quickly show you something here inside Gmail, right? Now, you see this, look at this side. There are different labels. You understand? There are different labels here. And you have to choose which label here are you communicating with as far as your Zap is concerned. So it's going to be inbox, you understand? Inbox. Right. So we're going to just choose our inbox, and that's what we are looking at. You understand? Then we'll click on continue. So this means that if the mail enters spam, there won't be any communication. If it's a business email that enters important or enters promotion, it won't communicate. It has to be email that enters into inbox, right? That is the setting we put now. But you notice that there are other options. You could choose all inbox and all labels. It's possible. You understand? And once you are done with this, you click on test trigger. Now, to test your trigger, there's going to be email that you send, you understand? Or for example, you could just come and choose any of your new record, any of the records you already have here, right? So I'll click on email C and continue with selected record. Now, your step 2 is to select the particular, tool you are communicating with, and that is Google Drive. Please, are you following? Now, what we are trying to say here is that you already have a trigger, which is Gmail, communicating. That's the arrow. If you saw the first video where I explained automation, what is automation and law, you saw I explained how this works, right? And if you have not seen that particular video, it's right there on our YouTube channel. So this is communicating with this. You understand? And of course, if you want anything to be in between them, that's what this plus sign is for. That is, if you want something to happen, before this Google Drive will go on, you choose that particular tool you want to communicate with. You understand? Yeah. And of course, because I don't want this, I'm just going to take it off. All right. Now, this is where we are. Now, this Google Drive is already our account. You understand? It's already our account. And of course, choose your action events. Now, when we have, don't forget, what's the trigger? New email. That is, when we have a new email, what should happen inside your Google Drive? Okay, you could say, please create. Don't forget, this is automation. Whatever you choose here automatically just keeps working on its own without you. Of course, I also mentioned in the first class, without you does not necessarily mean you won't have to come and be checking. So it's required your effort, but minimum compared to when you don't have automations. Right. Now, what should happen inside Google Drive? Should there be a file sharing preference for you? Should there be a file copied for you? Should there be a file created from text for you? Should there be a new folder created? Should there be a shortcut to a file created? Should a file be deleted? Should a file be moved? Should a file be replaced? And so on. So these are different, standard action. We call it standard actions, right? Or we could just call it communications. You understand? Things that you want this to understand when a new email is sent, because that is what you are trying to connect. Now, in this case, you can just say create file from text, right? Create a new file from plain text, or create folder. You understand? Whichever one you want, you can go for it. So let's say create folder, for example. Then you click on continue. So you click on continue. Now, this Gmail communicates with Google Drive. But let me show you something. I've shown you this already, right? So let me show you something inside the Google Drive. Now, this is the Google Drive, right? And you can see that there are plenty folders here. Now, if you are saying create a new folder, you have to tell us, you have to explain to Zapier where exactly you want that to be. Understand? Of course, the drive is our Google Drive, the parent folder. Understand now? So there must be a parent folder inside your folder where you want this to be created. It can be just my drive or just any particular folder you have created where the new empty folder will be created. You understand? So for example, I'm just going to go to the folder and create new folder and title this Zapier. Hold on, let me put all Zapier files from email. Right. Now that folder has been created. And when you come here, just refresh, right? Just refresh, and now you can search. Okay, in fact, it's already here. Then you can pick. So now we just pick that particular folder we have created, right? And call it a name. Don't have to give it you don't have to give it the exact name. You named it in your parent folder, you understand? I'm just doing this for this class sake, you understand? Just for this class sake. So once you are done with your configuration, so what we are doing now is called configuration, you understand? You click on continue. Now, the last thing you want to do is to test. You understand? To test. Now, this is already communicating with this. That is, to test Google Drive, Zapier will need to create a new, no, a new folder. Do you understand? Right. And of course, this is how it's going to look like. The folder and the title. Right. So click on test. Now, immediately I click on test, I got email. Right. Immediately I click on test, I got email. And of course, once we are done with this, you can come here and click on publish. Publishing. So we are preparing your Zap to go live. This may take a while. Your Zap is on. Now, immediately it starts working. It's doesn't delay it. It starts working. You understand? It starts working. Of course, you can send email to yourself and also see how this works from your end as well. Right now, this is just one zap, one connection, one communication between sorry, I'm getting a lot of emails. Okay, so this is just one connection between app, Google Mail, Gmail, another app, Google Drive. There could be a lot of more communications happening. You understand? There could be other communications, and that is why the first thing I told you was what you need to understand what you want to automate. You must understand what you want to automate. You understand? For example, marketing team needs to automate how they collect users' email address. Right? Our marketing team needs to understand how they collect users' details. So what is involved in collection of users' details? Maybe, for example, some companies could say HubSpot communicating with Excel sheets. Just for example, right? HubSpot is a marketing tool that helps businesses manage their CRM, right? So let's say, for example, your HubSpot is communicating with a tool like Google Sheets, right? So this is possible as well. Of course, if you have, we don't have HubSpot account anyway, but in case you have HubSpot account, I already said the trigger for you, right? So just go ahead, set it up like you did for the last one, choose the trigger events. What should happen is it when something is created in your HubSpot, when there's email subscriptions, when a customer creates a new contact, whatever it is you want it to do, this is what it's going to do for you. Then of course you sign into your um HubSpot account, and then you come here and also choose your Google Sheet account, from here. And I'm trying to sign in now, right? So just choose your Google Sheet account, and from there you'll be good to go. You understand? And that's basically how this works. Now, this is for this free class. When you come for our paid class, we'll teach you more operations, especially during your internship. We are going to teach you more operations. You understand? And what you also gain is exposure. We're going to give you projects to work on, right? We're going to give you a lot of things to work on. So you're not just going to learn this and thinking, okay, how can I use this? By the time you're done learning this for our interns, right? We'll give you projects to work on, and you submit, review them, and that is how you gain experience. You understand? All right. Our paid class also offers a lot of different benefits, lot of different benefits like certificates of achievements, internship after learning with us, job assistance, as a student, access to our Remotive. Remotive is a job board. In case you've not seen the video we did on it, it's there on our YouTube channel, right? So you can check Remotive. We paid for this, right? And of course, our students have access to it, where they can use it to gain and apply for jobs, right? And of course, you can see browse 49,000 plus jobs. This number is not fixed. Sometimes it can be 80,000. It changes just depending on how many jobs are available at that moment. All right. So that's basically it. If you have questions, drop your questions in the comment section. I'll be sure we'll attend to your questions. All right. Thank you. We'll see you in the next video.